Hey, I'm Eric Mercer, and I'd like to share my method of playing the ukulele with badly damaged fingers in hopes that it might help somebody who is similarly afflicted or has a physical limitation to try to adapt and find a way to make music. Now, these are the two fingers in question right here, my ring finger and my little finger. I brace my ring finger, as weak as it is, I brace the ring finger with my middle finger to give it better contact with the fretboard without having to squeeze too hard. And my little finger can work on the fret above it to cover 1, 2, or 3 strings, giving me 4 chord shapes I can work with. This video is meant to just be a demonstration of the method, to show that there is a method, that it does in fact work, and if it looks like it might apply to you, then join us going forward. Thanks to Beth Woodward of the VA's Music Therapy Department and Kent Knorr of the North Carolina Ukulele Academy for encouraging me as I developed a method of playing music again, and also encouraging me to put some videos out to help others who are similarly limited and help them find a way to make music as well. And if you know somebody else that might benefit from this, again, pass it on. Feel free to pass it on, please. Hopefully, even if this method doesn't work perfectly for you, it'll encourage you, maybe inspire you to find a way to work around that limitation and be able to make music. There are other videos on YouTube that show ways to play specific songs with one finger with conventional tuning, and those are excellent. That's just showing you a method whereby you can make your own music, play pretty much anything you want, a surprisingly wide range of music with just one finger, and for me, so far, an unlimited range of music with the second finger. You'll get a chance to put the method into practice starting in the next video as we play along together through the entire series. But to start off with, in the next video, we'll just play a couple of simple 3-chord songs together. I'll give you a preview of them right now. One of the strengths of this method is, with the open tuning and this 2-finger method, 1 or 2-finger method, we can play pretty much any song in any key. So we refer to the chords and the notes pretty much generically, just by numbers. So, we're going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It goes something like this. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what the heck you are. Now, if this seems a little too elementary, get the right hand into play, we'll turn it into some classical music called Mozart. We also did a nice little calypso number, a Yellow Bird, in the second video. We're going to do that together too. You just hear a short taste of it here. Again, 3 chords with some embellishment thrown in, a little bit of chord melody and some finger picking in there for rhythm. But even with these bent up things, sometimes I'm reduced to 2-finger picking, sometimes I can do 3 fingers, and of course I can strum. Well, the versatility of that simple chord pattern was really good news to me. A heavy racing crash many years ago damaged my fingers in both hands badly enough. Absolutely guaranteed I would not be able to play the guitar anymore. That ended a 40-year guitar playing career for me. Now, when I say career, I mean that kind of lightheartedly. In fact, my credentials as a musician and a teacher are 40 years as a pilot and 50 years as a motorcycle racer, with 1 guitar lesson behind me in the first 40 years I played. In fact, the interesting thing was, my best student ever was my youngest brother, who I taught to play the guitar when he was a kid. And he became Dr. Bluegrass, and many years later came back to coach me and teach me a lot of advanced techniques on the guitar. Wow. Yeah, the crash was rather abrupt ending to my guitar playing and had a real demoralizing effect. I didn't realize how important music was until I could no longer play it. It's possible I might get more enjoyment out of it now because I think my appreciation for the music is deeper than it ever was. But you know, just using one finger, we're not limited to three chords. There are many songs with chord progressions beyond just the three chords that we can still play with straight fingers. Here's an example of a couple of simple little tunes. Panhandle Rag. Well, it's variation, a very shortened version of Panhandle Rag on the concert ukulele, followed by a little ragtime structured piece, Hot Tamales and Red Hots. You may have heard a rock version of that. Of course, that raises the question, why does anybody need to know that many chords? And of course you don't. The important thing is, with the method, we can play pretty much any song in any key as necessary to support a singer's vocal range, for example, or to play along with other instruments that use different tunings. And with only four shapes, with the use of a second finger, we do get four shapes we can use to produce up to 19 different movable chords that can be played in any key. An example of this would be, let's say, Carolina in the Morning. It's a nice Tin Pan Alley number. It's kind of an anthem down here in coastal North Carolina. It's a bit complicated. 19 different chords, not 19 total, but 19 different chords of the song, at least with my arrangement. And we're going to play it with just four shapes. Well, after feeling sorry for myself for far too long after the crash, I picked up a lap steel guitar that I would not have to have a lot of manual dexterity, just hold the steel bar in my left hand. I enjoy playing the instruments, the dobro, the Weissenborn, Hawaiian music, Western swing, and ragtime. But I can't really do much beyond that as far as different genres go, so I'm somewhat limited. Shortly after I began playing again, I had the privilege to work with Beth Woodward, the VA's music therapy program, as a volunteer coach. And there I learned firsthand just how important making music is to our well-being, both our mental and emotional well-being. I know I got at least as much out of those sessions as the other veterans I was coaching. Soon after that, by accident, I discovered the ukulele and how versatile it could be. I borrowed a ukulele for our son to play when he was visiting, and I realized with a little bit of retuning, I could play some basic music with it. Well, I continued to explore it and develop the method to the point where pretty much I can play almost everything I could on the guitar. And even better than the guitar, the ukuleles are far more portable, far more affordable, and right now they're wildly popular in this area, so you've always got a group you can play with to enjoy the social benefits of making music. These days, I rarely go anywhere without a ukulele close at hand. You never know. Another example of the musical range of the instrument in this method, a couple of ragtime structured pieces I wrote during the pandemic. These are very, very tiny samples of the tunes. Well, after moving to coastal North Carolina, right in the middle of the pandemic, having just discovered the ukulele, I began workshopping with Knorr at the North Carolina Ukulele Academy. Kent has done an amazing job of inspiring generations of ukulele players here in the area. Speaking of music, here's a Hawaiian-style piece played on the tenor ukulele, Song of the Islands. Mostly one finger on the left hand. A couple of two-finger chords at the very end, the coda. So how does it work? Well, we're going to go into that fully in the next video, starting in the next video. It's going to continue on through the whole series. In fact, I'm still figuring out how it works. I'm still learning every time I pick this thing up. But right now, just a real brief introduction. We use, we retune the instrument to a open tuning, pretty much slack key Hawaiian tuning. So the instrument is tuned to a major chord when strummed, open, meaning no fingers on the left hand. Any fret I place my straight finger on is another major chord. Now, we modify that with, again, one finger. We just modify the major chord to make the few slightly advanced chords we can play. When we play with the one finger, we can play sevenths, we can play two versions of minor chords. We can play a sixth, we can play a minor seventh, we can play a major seventh. Again, forms of them by just plucking selected strings. For example, here's the major chord. I play three of those strings, and I have what the rock folks call a power chord. It's going to suffice for a minor. I can play another form down here with two fingers. We have the seventh, minor seventh, sixth, major seventh. Okay, that's it. So we have, what, 6 or 7 types of chords that can be played on any of 12 frets, any 12 keys, okay? That's a big number. So those are our chord options with one finger. With two fingers, we've got 14 more types of chords we can play. Again, times 12. Okay. There are 4 chord shapes we'd have to know. Straight? Yeah. So with those simple shapes, well, how do we play these hundreds of chords? Well, the song itself will indicate what fret to play that shape on, what strings to play. Again, the example of Twinkle Twinkle and Yellow Bird kind of gave us a hint in that direction. So the song said I want to go to the 4 chord, we went up to the 5th fret. 5 chord, the 7th fret. Well, the same principle applies to every one of those chord shapes, the more advanced chords as well, and the more complex songs. The same principle applies. I don't claim this method to be better or easier than conventional playing. It's just different, but mostly it makes it possible for me to play. The obvious advantage is we only have to learn 4 shapes. An accomplished ukulele player playing the same songs we play by memory or by ear would have to know, gosh, dozens and dozens of chord shapes to be able to do what we can do with 4 shapes. Might be a huge advantage is that, of course, we can transpose. We can play in different keys very easily. Our shape is built in. We just pick it up and move it. Very powerful tool. Now, we mentioned how adding a second finger expands the range of music we can play exponentially. But for quite a while, we're going to be using primarily one-finger chords in all the songs we use. And the songs we use are just used to explore the method. I'm not really here. It's not a tutorial. I'm not going to teach you songs at this point. We'll dive into the second finger shapes and those other 3 shapes, starting about, I think, video 5. But right now, one finger, another one-finger song. This was marsh music. And we're just going to give you a little taste of that one. Okay, let's take a break. But before we go, let's take a look at the soprano ukulele. That's a little green fellow we saw in the opening frame. I borrowed it for the video. I just strummed a few, just strummed a few chords on that. It's really too small for me to play decently, but it is a lot of fun. It's a delightful little thing if your fingers will fit it. Simple three chord song. Now this is the simple tuning that we'll get back to several videos from now. We're going to loop back to this one. We're going to be using an expanded tuning, which allows us to play advanced chord shapes with 2 fingers. This is somewhat limited, but there's still a lot we can do with this. But again, I don't want to get into that right now. I didn't want to change the tuning on her ukulele too terribly much, so I lowered 1 string. It's great for banjo style songs, you know, if you can, if your fingers fit on this thing. If you think this is going to be of use for you going forward, join us in the next video with a ukulele and a chromatic tuner. We'll tune up, we'll get some hands-on time and make some music together. And of course, going forward, your personal situation probably will be a little bit different than mine. If you find another method that works for you, please share the wealth in the comments section, because somebody else out there can probably benefit from your experience. And conversely, if this method doesn't work for you, bring that up as well. Again, someone out there may have found a way to address your challenge. This is meant to be an interactive workshop. I hope to learn something from this as well. If you see me missing something or if something needs explaining, let me know as well, and I'll go back over it. Well, let's go out with some more homemade music. This is a tune, again, using all 1 finger on the left hand, with generous use of those power chords I referred to earlier.